ready?
Got open man. DJ Moore. End zone. Touchdown. Touchdown Bears.
I am Jeff Joniak.
Blitz is on. Down he goes. Oscar.
What was it like playing for Coach Ditka?
I don't want to answer any questions like that.
Pressure coming. He's in big trouble. Down he goes. Montez Sweat.
And etc.
Now, Bears Etc. brought to you by Geico, with the voices of the Bears, Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer.
Final home game for 2024 ends in a 6-3 loss to Seattle. 1 week to go, and it's off to Green Bay we go with Super Bowl winning Bears guard Tom Thayer. I'm Jeff Joniak. Welcome to episode 123 of the Bears Etc. podcast. We're brought to you by Geico. Coming up, some post-game thoughts from head coach Thomas Brown and quarterback Caleb Williams. Tom, hard to digest what is now ballooned into a 10-game losing streak. Hard for everyone involved with a frustration level that has no definition. Right there again on Thursday night. Game on the line, ball in the hands of the offense, seeking field goal range to force OT or get a game-winning touchdown. And it all fizzled after venturing into Seattle territory. A night with 13 combined punts, no touchdowns, and just 9 points on a game, again, there to be won despite the ineffectiveness overall of the offense and a really superb effort, at least in terms of their aggressiveness, physicality, and stinginess on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's super frustrating. I don't think anybody left that locker room last night feeling good about what happened, whether you're a fan or you're a player or a coach, no matter what your involvement is with the Chicago Bears. But I will say this going forward. You have one more game left on the docket. I am not going to necessarily forget what happened last night, but I'm not going to dwell on it because I want to go out on a high note, whether I'm a coach, a player, whatever my role is with the Chicago Bears. And I want to be prepared against the Green Bay Packers to go out there and put a performance unlike any others. And you have a full week of preparation. You have time to recover. You have the ability to be ready for an emotional game that they're going to have a lot at stake. So get ready and start preparing for the Green Bay Packers today, and that's in terms of rest and recovery. And then when you get back into the meeting room and on the practice field, do everything within your power to make sure that you're prepared for next Sunday.
All right, this game was something of a statistical oddity. Only the third time in the Super Bowl era that the Bears allowed 6 points or fewer in a game and lost. Just an incredible circumstance that continues to haunt this team is the lack of a quick start and the inability to finish, Tom. And that bookends they're important. Everything that happens in the middle is important too, but starting fast and finishing strong is an old adage that needs to take root somehow with this Bears team moving forward.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it getting a more competitive and more competent first 15 plays? We often hear about every single team in the National Football League history where they start out with the script of the first 15 plays. And if it takes you trying to, get the quarterback involved and where his confidence is at the highest, what plays does he like the most? What protections does he have the most trust in? And what patterns does he have the most faith in? And then what running plays suit the Bears' talent the best in terms of running back and offensive line? So you have to take a lot of those elements into consideration to make sure that when you go through that first quarter and a half of football, some way, shape, or form, it results in points.
All right, just 20 first quarter points for the Bears this season and nothing on the opening drive. Have a new or gently used coat laying around? Head to your local Jewel Osco until February 10th and donate one of your new or gently used coats to the 36th annual Chicago Bears Coat Drive and help keep Chicagoans warm this winter. Let's listen in to both Thomas Brown and Caleb Williams, some excerpts from their post-game news conference at Soldier Field on Thursday night.
I asked that all three phases play their best together at one time. And I thought special teams played extremely well. I thought defense played their butts off the entire night. And the offense was not good enough, which starts with me as far as the game plan that I had coming into this game, having those guys ready to go. We had plenty of opportunities to win it. Had an unfortunate call early on that took away one of the touchdowns, but still had plenty of chances to take at bats. And that's extremely frustrating and disappointing, which is 100% on me. And so we'll have a couple of days off, have a chance to regroup, and then have one more crack at it.
Thomas, where were your kick lines on that last drive?
34, 37-yard line, so somewhat close to it.
When you guys get 1st and 10 at the 40, what would you like to see happen in those next 4 plays? And did you have anything up for a potential run in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, just be able to execute. Obviously, they were zeroing us out, so there's not many other than running a quarterback, like design quarterback runs that are great answers versus zero coverage. So just make sure we got in a spot where felt like it was a legitimate chance to go make a field goal at that point. Obviously, at the end of the game, had a chance to try to go protect it, buy some time, and have a shot down the middle of the field to DJ. Ball kind of got tipped, I believe, or Kev got hit, or arm got hit, releasing it. So that didn't work out. But like I said, overall, wasn't good enough as far as the game plan I had for these guys, and also didn't have offense ready to go.
What happened with the operation with the 2 timeouts on that drive?
Yeah, I mean, just being able to have cleaner communication, get out in the huddle, snap the ball faster. So I didn't want to waste plays. You have a timeout from a delayed game standpoint. So that was the whole reason for burning the timeout.
So what was the confusion on the first time on of not knowing whether you were going to punt or go for it?
It wasn't confusing at all. I just changed my mind. I think being able to use Torrey as a weapon, and we still had, I think it was 2:16 on the clock, still had our 3 timeouts, plus a 2-minute warning. So the way our defense has been playing all day, possibly have a chance to go flip the field and force a 3 and out, get a shorter field, and have like a last in the game drive. So that was my thought process. And then over the course of that, changed my mind and said, let's go for it now. And so send the offense back on the grass.
What made you change your mind?
I just want to be more aggressive.
Yeah, the final play there, what are you hoping to get there, and not knowing they're bringing the house? What are your answers?
Yeah, my answer is where I tried to throw it is to DJ, knowing they're bringing the house. We put as many guys as we could to block, and they just had one more guy to the back, and tried to fade away and throw it to DJ on a runaway, one of our fastest guys, if not our fastest guy, and missed, got hit or however it happened, and yeah.
What issues did you see on the final drive, as far as lack of urgency and clock management, timeout management?
Yeah, I haven't been able to obviously digest it all, so I can't really give you a full answer. I think we simply didn't execute. I think obviously there's times where you can have a better call, want a better call, things like that, but we didn't execute. I didn't execute on many different occasions this game, and it's frustrating, but got to find a way. I think today was one of those games that I think we played on 2 sides of the ball today pretty well, special teams and defense, and then offense we didn't play well. There was miscues, there was stupid sacks that I was taking, losing 10, 14 yards, which is frustrating. But I will say that I'll definitely take the heat for this one, just because some of the situations that I put us in, like I said, that sack that I took that I didn't need to take, which put us, we were in empty, and I brought a guy from the boundary, just throw it over the guy's head, and you're still playing. Obviously, you don't want to, you want to get a positive play there, but in that sense, it's a positive play. So, got to be better.
What was your frustration level with this game? You looked understandably very angry after the way that it ended.
Yeah, I was frustrated. Still frustrated. Gonna probably be frustrated until tomorrow. After I get a good chance to watch it and things like that. So, I mean, I didn't play well enough. I didn't help put the team in a good position to win, a better position to win, and that's what it is.
You said on the Amazon pregame interview we saw that you didn't meet the expectations this season of winning and of playing your best.
Yep.
What did you mean particularly about your performance individually?
Yeah, just being able to, from start to finish, be able to be consistent throughout the whole season. Obviously, their job over there on the defensive side is to be able to provide, that inconsistency and things like that. But find ways to just be consistent, play good football, consistent football when the ball's in my hand, and from all the alerts and things like that. And then, I think obviously the expectation of winning, that'll always be my expectation, is to win as many games that we have. Obviously that's not always the case, but that will always be my goal. Whenever I'm on the field or, preparing throughout the week and things like that.
There's the term execution is repeatedly come up, and yes, there was a lack of execution. And Caleb took a lot of responsibility, took some responsibility for some of those 7 sacks, some off-target throws. Thomas Brown took his own responsibility. You had opportunities defensively that could have changed the game. Obviously, we thought we had a 62-yard fumble return by Kyler Gordon. Heads up that he went all the way to the end zone. They say he was touchdown. He also said a referee said he didn't watch the play. Tremaine Edmonds going to be not able to sleep for a couple nights. That interception of the red zone should have been a takeaway and not 3 points. It could have made a difference in the game in this real weird low-scoring game.
Yeah, I think it's just whenever you look at the end result of a football game, I think there's a lot of frustration that comes from everybody when you lose the game. In the immediacy of answering questions completely when you haven't seen the film yet, I think it's super hard for a quarterback, a head coach, or a position player. So I think you just have to listen to the tone of their voice and the way they answer questions. And these guys are professionals, man. This is not a way they wanted to leave that locker room on Thursday night. So will I give them a little bit of time, and I'll see the next time they revisit the podium. And if you want to re-ask some of those questions, maybe you'll get a complete answer, because the frustration is in the voice of Thomas Brown. Yep. And the frustration is in the voice of Caleb Williams. And I think anybody that you talk to privately inside that locker room is feeling the same way. There's nobody walking out of that locker room feeling good about what happened. So that's what I think about what you're going to do moving forward and what you can do to finish this thing.
Bears fans, Steinhoffels is a proud partner of the Chicago Bears. This Bears season, Steinhoffels is partnering with Special Spaces Illinois to create dream bedrooms for children battling cancer. For every false start caused by the Bears defense during a home game, Steinhoffels donates $1,000 to Special Spaces Illinois. Shop in store and online at steinhoffels.com. Couple of big plays. Let's break them down, Tommy, because you watched the tape. About 2.5 before the half, they had that 13-play, 67-yard drive, the screen to Swift for 24. That was a nice play. The screen game had its moments. 3rd and 7 for DJ Moore for 18 on a screen on a 3rd and 9. That bouncing shotgun snap that Caleb picked up and hit Keenan Allen for 16. The 17-yard touchdown to Roma Dunze that was wiped out by the Jake Curhan hold. I mean, there were a bunch. 4th and 3 late in the game from their own 34. Caleb retreating. I think 3 or 4 guys chasing him down. Hit Moore for 14. Kind of a back foot heave throw. Turns into a 4th down conversion at DJ. So, but that all amounted to 179 yards of offense, 3.1 yards per play against that Seattle defense. And when you take the sacks into account and negative pass plays, just 2.2 yards per pass attempt. It's not going to net you a lot of points.
Yeah, you can talk about all those positive plays, and when you talk about the overall performance of the game, when you talk about that amount of sacks, it negates everything that you talked about, the good. However, I will say this, Caleb Williams could be the best screen thrower, the lateral passes in football. The guy is unbelievable. His accuracy, his immediacy of the completion, putting the ball carrier in a positive position to be able to convert it into yards. I've been impressed with that all year. When you talk about the pass to Keenan Allen, when they had the ball that was rolling on the ground, he picked it up and he kept his focus downfield. Those are the types of building blocks that you can surround Caleb with, and building this offense off of those things that he does so well time and time again.
Coming into the game, one of the top yardage totals in the screen game this year for Caleb Williams. So something to build on, because that is a deadly play when hits, and it does take the starch out of a pass rush. Let's look. He went his first 27 throws without an interception, so he winds up with 353 without one, a franchise record, a Bears rookie record, 4th longest stretch by any quarterback in a single season in NFL history. Of course, on the blitz by Kobe Bryant, on that blitz at the end of the game with 9 guys on the line of scrimmage, that was intercepted. Reek Woolen with the interception to end the game, but you got to give him his props on that one. Top 5 now in team history in single season passing yards. I know it all falls short of the win column, but these are things that you notate and you take a good look at.
Yeah, but listen, at the end of every season, it's always about the next season. And I think one of the building blocks of a football team is the importance and the role of a quarterback. And we can go through the history of the NFL, and we can talk about Hall of Fame quarterbacks that had a rough start team wide. And, that's one thing about Caleb. When I see the exciting things about him, I can't believe how tough of a guy he is. From some of the hits that he's taken this year, the way he scrambled out of pressure in the pocket, and the way he's had a ball maybe fall on the ground, but pick it up without hesitation and throw the ball. So all those types of things that we've seen out of other quarterbacks in the history of the league to what we know that Caleb is going to offer in the future.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to grind through it.
Yeah.
And, I keep thinking about Troy Aikman. He had that 11-game losing streak. There's others. There's a list.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You got the Troy Aikman, you got Peyton Manning throwing 27 interceptions. You got a lot of these guys throughout the history of their career that they suffered through that first year, but it also gave the organization an understanding of what they needed the pieces they needed to put in place to build around Caleb.
Time for our Geico Gives You More football stat of the week. The Bears allowed the fewest points in a game for the season, and the fewest since 2021. They allowed allowed 3 in Week 17. It was also a second-half shutout for the second time since Week 1 against Tennessee, and the defense held opponents without a touchdown in the first half for a fourth time. And again, mention the still stingy red zone defense, third best in red zone touchdown efficiency in the NFL. Should have had a sixth takeaway. I want to get to the defensive line because some of the guys that have been, Byron Coward has started 7 straight games. Big sack in the second quarter in his 50th NFL game. Darrell Taylor had a strip sack. Who batted down the ball at the line of scrimmage? Jacob Martin at the line of scrimmage. So, everybody had a hand into something there. Montez Sweat got another sack. So there's some good things done by the defense. TJ Edwards, got to talk about him too. TJ, team high 6 tackles, now 125. Second Bear linebacker to reach that in back-to-back seasons since the turn of the century, and that would be Roquan Smith in 2021. And remarkably, just the 4th Bears player in history with multiple 125 tackle seasons. Think about the great defenses. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it tells you how competitive TJ is and what a force he is at linebacker and how he accepts his role and he's able to convert it into tackles. You're playing in front of a defensive line that's had a lot of rotational pieces in the middle. So rather than formulating and understand a plan of attack, working with the same defensive tackles like a lot of great linebackers have, TJ is a guy that's probably worked with 8 different interior packages from just the defensive tackle position alone. And anybody knows that a linebacker that has that amount of tackles, a lot of it is a result of because of the play in front of you. So those guys up in front that you talked about, there was a solid rotation of them all.
Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. And we're brought to you by PNC, official bank of the Bears. Let's touch on special teams. It got a thumbs up from the head coach, Thomas Brown. They did do some good things. Let me start with Tyler Scott. Tyler Scott in the kick return game showing an aggressive burst, but that downfield tackle on Jalen Darden, that brought the house down. That was a big stick by him as a gunner, and that's a position he has dabbled in but has not been consistently a part of this season because of the logjam at receiver. But I thought that was a good way to put something on tape for Tyler Scott.
Right. Listen, there's a lot of guys that could have folded their tent when they haven't been on the active list for a lot of games this year. Then all of a sudden you see Tyler Scott, who's a wide receiver. Now he's being offered the opportunity to be a tackler. And then he's able to escape the guys that are trying to block him as a flyer on the punt team, get in the open field and make a super important tackle that put the opponent's offense behind the 8 ball with their starting field position. So, I kind of applaud Tyler Scott for not being frustrated, for not being included, but when he is included, to make some plays.
Same with Dominique Robinson. Guys that don't get a lot of snaps, making the most of the minimal opportunities. Tory Taylor, I know you're going to get all crazy on me, but
no, I'm not. I listen.
5 punts inside the 20. 5 punts inside the 20. Tied for second most by any Bears punter in a single game since at least 1991. He is now 4th inside the 20 this season, and he blasted the Bears rookie record away. He's got 32 now for the season. He's excellent. He's excellent at what he does.
he came out of a really inept offense his senior year in college, and now he's got an understanding of what's required of him on the NFL level. And just because Torrey is a good punter in college, it doesn't mean he understands all the details of the job coming into the NFL. Now he understands the snapping, the timing, the pressures, the variations of fronts that he's going to see. And I think that he's just scratching the surface of what ultimately he's going to be throughout his career.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, right here at home, driving access toward healthier communities through it all. And then lastly, Cairo Santos, who's been ultimate consistent weapon for the Bears. They tried to get him in his field goal range last night to try to get the tie. Didn't work out, but 545 points, fifth most by any player in team history, passing the Hall of Fame kicker George Blanda, and the 84th consecutive game of the point. That's second most, trailing Robbie Gould's team record at 152. So some really good things from Cairo over the course of his Bears career. Got to give him a heads up on that.
No doubt. You know, those kickers come into some difficult situations when they come aboard a team and they're trying to impress some coach enough that they realize that they have the ability to be the kicker for their team. And when he goes out and does that and performs under some really difficult circumstances, I applaud Cairo for what he's done.
And Mike McDonald with the head coach, the youngest head coach in the NFL right now at 36, on that final play, he blitzed Kobe Bryant. That version of the blitz with 9 up front, they just put it in 2 weeks ago, and the guys were waiting, see when it was going to run. I appreciate when coaches do that. He also gave Caleb a lot of praise, saying he clearly made some phenomenal plays under duress, and he's been under duress all season long. The sack total of 7, obviously that's not all on the offensive line. You know, that some of that's on the quarterback as well. But it's happened 4 times now. That's tied with Jim Harbaugh for the second most in Bears history in a game. Bobby Douglas 5 times, sacked 7 times or more in a game. Hopefully that could end quickly, because that has to, for operational reasons.
Listen, I've been a part of that same thing against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. So I know what a game like that is to live through. And that's why I was saying, I think you got to set your sights and your determination on being the best possibly prepared football team you can next Sunday, and go out there and give a performance on a high note, whether you're a guy on a 1-year contract or the guy in the midst of a early career. I think you want to start the offseason with some confidence.
Good news, Chicago. United Airlines is getting brand new planes with all the bells and whistles like Bluetooth connectivity, screens at every seat, and room for everyone's roller bag. United, proud to fly the Chicago Bears, and you too. Let's look at the NFC North. The Packers at Minnesota, 3:25 on Sunday. Detroit at San Francisco on Monday Night Football. You got Minnesota and Detroit with 13 wins. Packers sitting there at 11. Then Week 19, Packers-Bears. We don't know when it's going to be, Saturday or Sunday. I'm hoping for a Sunday at noon. And then Vikings at Lions. So it's coming down to the wire with everybody in the toughest division in football, and that division is going to remain tough moving forward. So there's a lot in place with the 3 other teams, and they've got stability, they've got quarterbacks, they've got time on task without a lot of turnover. So it's going to be interesting to see moving forward, Tom. I don't know what your thoughts are on all this.
Listen, man, I'm all for the schedule makers. I know the difficulty in making sure they get all these games lined up and everything, but to have a bunch of divisional games at the end of the season, I think no matter if you're a football fan from Chicago or California, I think it's fun for everybody.
And a shout out to the fans for showing up. They really came out strong all season long. Last couple years have been wanting to just cut it loose. They've been they voiced their opinion, right? In good times and bad, and they're a loyal fan base, and we love them.
I love the support of these fans, because I'm as much of a Bears fan as I am anything else involving the Chicago Bears, and I just live to see those seats get filled and the people shouting and cheer when they get a big play, and it's just exciting to see them show up.
That's going to wrap up Bears Etc. episode 123. For Tom Thayer, I'm Jeff Joniak. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please hit that subscribe button now on the Chicago Bears official app, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll talk to you next week to preview the Packers. For Tom Thayer, I'm Jeff Joniak. Bear down.